We're not far now. The Terra Verte of old, before the war began. Before
I don't care.
He can't face the Revenant and Selena alone.
I don't care.
I spent summers here with my parents.
I don't
These
care.
mountains were
I
like
don't
heaven on
care.
earth to me then.
My father signed a treaty with PSI years ago.
Oh my god, I don't care!
Memories of war are as a child, not soldiers.
Damnation for the Xbox 360. A third-person shooter. The last third-person shooter that I reviewed was Ride to Hell Retribution, so this couldn't possibly be as bad as that one, right? I mean, that game set the bar so low that this game has got to be at least a little bit of fun, right? Let's just see. Here's the plot in a nutshell. I'll just go through it real quickly because who really cares? In an alternate steampunk universe version of America, you play as, Cowboy Hat. And along with your friends, the Professor and fan service, you're trying to defeat Evil Man, who is taking over the world, powering an army of superhumans with some sort of evil toxin. And that's the plot. Oh, except we've also got robots, magic, a useless backstory. Look, I could talk about the plot more, about how stupid it is, but I just really don't want to. It's just bad. It's badly written, and it's even worsely executed. So, the game starts out rough, right off the bat. They tell me to take cover, but don't explain how the cover system works. In fact, there is no cover system. All that I can do is crouch, but if I crouch behind something to use it as cover, then I can't shoot the enemies. I just shoot the cover. And then one of my friends gets shot, so I have to revive him. And then after I do, he just sort of stands there. Just enjoying the view, I guess. And he just keeps doing this until he dies again, and I have to keep constantly reviving him. Not that there's even a reason to do so, he's not helping me at all. This game is a very bad third-person shooter in many, many ways. The shooting in this game, you know, what the game is all about. It's a third-person shooter. It's the worst part. It's not fun at all. The aiming is touchy and very imprecise, meaning that even when you do manage to line up your cursor with an enemy correctly, you still might not hit them, especially if they're moving around. The enemies pretty much never react to you in a realistic way, often standing there for moments on end just letting you shoot them. That's not fun. It's not fun to just shoot at dummies that aren't even acting at all like living creatures with cognitive thought. It also seems pointless to go for headshots. Like any bad first and third person shooter, where you shoot doesn't really seem to matter at all. Whether it's because of how imprecise the aiming is, or if the weapons just all have too much spread or something, or if the game is just programmed poorly and designed lazily, it's the last one, it doesn't matter. The shooting is not fun at all. If I'm being honest, so far this game is actually feeling pretty similar to Ride to Hell Retribution in terms of how horrible the shooting is. But here's something to set it apart from Ride to Hell Retribution a bit. For whatever reason, this game has a parkour system. You have to climb, jump, wall jump, swing all around and navigate levels and get around. Is it fun? Well, it's not annoying like the shooting is, I guess, but I can't really say that it's fun. It tends to just take up a lot of time. I'll finish a shooting section, killing all of the enemies, and then I'll just have to do a bunch of platforming before I can get to the next shooting session, rinse and repeat. Like I said, it's not really fun. I mean, it works well enough. But with the way you cling to ledges and gravitate towards things when you jump to them, it makes it feel less like platforming and more like pressing the A button over and over again. The only part of it that isn't completely automated and you actually have to think about it is finding where you have to jump to. And since this game has no waypoints, that can be pretty annoying sometimes. This one section later in the game alone took me an hour to get through, and most of that time was spent just trying to figure out where I had to go to start climbing up. It was not fun. Maybe the parkour would be a bit more enjoyable if exploration was more of a thing. Like if the game wasn't so linear and you were actually encouraged to stray from the regular path and explore to find things. But as it is, there's not really any reason to do so. This game doesn't have any health pickups or crafting or upgrades or any reason to explore. There's nothing to find by exploring except, I guess, ammo and the very rare collectible. Yes, it's just a glowing spot on the ground called collectible. There's 20 of them in the entire game, and they tend to just be out in the open for the most part. So yeah, there's still no reason to explore. So why put so much effort into this parkour system? It's not fun or useful, it's just something that you have to do to progress through levels. You know, I've realized something. I've been comparing this game to Ride to Hell Retribution a bit, but I feel like there's something missing. There's just not enough misogyny.
You handle yourself well. I mean, for a healer and a woman.
There we go, there it is. Now it's like Ride to Hell Retribution. Also, while we're on this topic, look at this woman's outfit. That really does look like great wartime clothing, for sure. Graphically, this game's atrocious. It's a terrible looking Xbox 360 game. Oftentimes, it looks more like an original Xbox game. The character models look awful, the textures look awful, the animations are awful, the color scheme is awful, everything just looks bleak, gray, brown, there's screen tearing everywhere, terrible frame rate. This game looks bad. It looks just as bad as Ride to Hell Retribution, and at times it might even look worse. On the audio side of things, the game sucks too. Bland, forgettable music. Honestly, it's a very minimal soundtrack. There are parts where music should be blaring, but it's just pretty much silent. And the voice acting is awful. It's real bad.
Winslow said the smokestacks are the key to overloading the generator. Let's get to the top.
Also, most of the time, all you can hear in the background is a voice of an overhead speaker, and it tends to just repeat the same things over and over and over and over and over again. Enough to drive you mad when you're getting through some of these longer sections.
So long, Professor. See that his death does not come too easily. I want to make certain he remembers it.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be remembering much after dying. But, you know, nice try. Nice try. You almost sounded intimidating there. This game is just rough around the edges, all around. Like, you can't go a single minute without something derpy or bad happening. When you take too much damage, the screen goes blurry and it starts to turn white. This makes it very disorienting, and I often have no idea what to do because I can't even tell where the enemies are shooting me from. So it's difficult to hide and recover. And you can't use the detective mode that they give you to see where the enemies are because it takes a moment to activate, and getting shot interrupts it. If the detective mode activated instantaneously, like it does in most games, it might actually be useful. Oh god, this part. I shot down this thing so that it'd fall down and create a platform that we could use to successfully get down without dying of fall damage. So, what do my friends do? They jump down, they completely ignore the thing I shot down and just jump down, and they're fine. So what do? Well, I attempted to slide down this thing, but then I fell off because the control is awful, and then boom, I died. From the exact same height as from less height than my friends jumped. And this is how you're supposed to get down, by the way. It's just weird and difficult, and if you don't line yourself up properly, you'll just slide right off the side. And why my friends decided to jump down, I haven't a clue. All the other characters have idle animations when they're standing still, but my character literally just stands there like a statue. It's kind of creepy. How hard would it have been for them to animate him breathing? Throwing grenades in this game is useless. There's no aiming reticle or trajectory indicator. You have no idea where he's going to throw it, so it'll end up causing more harm than good. And here, when I reached this section, one of my friends said, "Leave this to me," and then they drove off. And apparently he was expecting us to hop on a bike and follow him. Why would you say, "Leave this to me," then? That's not fitting dialogue. It doesn't make any sense. It's not like you were driving ahead to do something to help us and then come back. You were just leaving. What exactly are we leaving to you? This leads in well to my next topic. Driving sections. There are sections of this game where you have to get on a bike and drive. They suck. Well, honestly, they're probably the best part of the game, but that doesn't mean they don't suck. They can be pretty disorienting. Apparently this video game's universe has Sonic the Hedgehog physics. Sometimes you'll hit a bump or something and it'll just flip your bike around 180 degrees and stop you right in your tracks. You'll encounter enemies which your partner will try to shoot at, but all you have to do is drive past them. They're literally pointless. And what I find to be probably the biggest problem with these sections is that you can't control the camera. The camera angle during these sections makes it so that you often can't see very far ahead of you, especially if you're going uphill. This results in a lot of unfair deaths, unavoidable deaths, times where you're turning a corner or going up a slope and you'll have no idea that there's a cliff coming up until it's too late. Overall, these sections of the game are bad. They're still more pleasant than the rest of the game, but only because they're really easy. Even with the unfair deaths, all you really have to do is try again. You have unlimited lives, so whatever. I just wish that they were fun, or good, or that this game would just be over already. This game is just a mess. It's a mess that just keeps going. They introduce harder enemies, they introduce awful puzzles to solve, and all the while, nothing really improves, nothing gets better. It's all derpy and badly coded all the way through to the end. It doesn't even feel satisfying on a basic level to shoot enemies. Most of the time, when you shoot somebody in the head, they just jerk their head to the side, as if my bullets are just mosquito bites to them. Ow! Dude! That really stings. Well, I finally reached the final boss, and it's awful. First off, right off the bat, they tell you to look up at a projection in the clouds to see what you're supposed to do. But hell if I can tell what the heck it's showing me. I don't even know if I'm looking at it upside down or what. Then they throw a million enemies at you, and before you can even think about killing some of them, you're dead. They had you surrounded, you're dead. And then you have to once again go down this elevator before you can try again, since this is where the checkpoint was, before the elevator ride. Why make me do this? They could have just put the checkpoint immediately before the boss. God freaking damn it, right when you get to the second phase of the fight, you die. I don't even have enough time to find some cover. You are immediately under fire from dozens of enemies. Look how fast I died after jumping out this window. I was just trying to quickly run to the next building. After a while, I finally managed to get past phase 1 of this fight, kill all of the enemies, get over to the side, and climb this building, while still being shot at, by the way. And there, my god, I did it. Finally, I beat him. Oh, and now he's a superhuman, I guess. Okay, I guess the boss fight still isn't done. Wait, no, what the hell? No, let me drop the gun, damn it! Oh, and I have to redo it all over again, great! Alright, so I did it all over again, and this time I managed to beat him. Thank freaking God I'm done. Oh wow, what a fitting achievement. Yes, I am a trooper for playing through this entire game. This is casual mode. I'm not even playing on the hardest difficulty. Dear Lord, this game is bad. It's ugly, badly written, badly optimized, it plays terribly, it's terribly designed, it's just awful. It's just a really bad game. This game is a really bad game. This game also has local co-op, by the way. Did you expect me to talk about that at length? In what world would it be worth it? The frame rate is noticeably worse, enough that it actually makes the game harder to play, and it's just nausea-inducing to look at. You can barely see what you're doing because of the split screen, and yeah, the game still sucks. Except now a friend can suffer with you. There, I talked about it. The end. This game took me 9.5 hours to beat. That is way too long to be playing this piece of crap. I can't believe I did it. It's just... I think I might have to play a good game pretty soon. Like, I think I might have to do a positive review pretty soon to stay sane. These last couple of games I've reviewed have been especially harsh on me. Sadly, though, Christmas is coming up, and the only appropriate game that I own is this.